At the Champions League Final in Paris, French police used tear gas on footy fans just trying to watch the biggest match of the year. As supporters showed their tickets, police brutalized them. Because of it, many were discombobulated, including a police officer who briefly collapsed. UEFA, who runs the Champions League, then blamed fans for arriving late.
So how long have you been waiting here? 2 hours. Inside the stadium, they're blaming fans for getting here late. But that's right.
This is what the chaotic scenes looked like outside the stadium. Clouds of smoke from tear gas the authorities deployed on fans. The match was delayed by roughly 40 minutes. The finger pointing by the organization, the unorganized approach, it was all encompassing.
It's not late arrivals. It's due to late arrivals, the game's been delayed. My son's there, he's been there for 2 hours.
I agree. My son's exactly
It's shocking. And I've just walked out of there now. I've got tear gas in me. The tear gassing fans, kids, there's children in there and they're getting tear gassed.
What's happened?
We've been stood in this queue since 6:15. I've got really bad asthma and I've been tear gassed twice. I'm just really struggling.
Prior to kickoff, members of the media shifted their focus from the pre-game festivities inside the stadium to what occurred outside of it, getting eyewitness accounts of what transpired, how UEFA has appeared to try their best in finding a scapegoat, and why exactly this was such an utter failure. French sports minister Amélie Oudéa-Castéra met the media and followed suit with UEFA. Bloomberg reported French ministers of sport shifted responsibility onto the Liverpool fans while not providing details of how they were sure so many fake tickets were in circulation. People with legitimate tickets bought through Liverpool and UEFA reported struggling to access the stadium. On the contrary, Liverpool, as in the club, have called for an investigation after thousands of supporters were held outside of the Champions League final before kickoff at the Stade de France with tear gas, pepper spray, batons, and shields used to disperse fans. The French Interior Minister said there was massive fraud at an industrial level and an organization of fake tickets because of the pre-filtering by the Stade de France and the French Football Federation. 70% of the tickets were fake tickets coming into the grounds. 15% of fake tickets also were after the first filtering. More than 2,600 tickets were confirmed by UEFA as a non-validated tickets, even though they'd gone through the first filtering. Bloomberg notes the French sports ministry provided no evidence for its claims, and it did not respond to a follow-up email after hosting a combative news conference. Speaking to French radio network RTL, Oudéa-Castéra said what happened, first of all, was this mass gathering of the British supporters of the Liverpool club without tickets or with fake tickets. Roughly 1 week prior to the match, by the way, she was appointed France's Minister of Sport. It appears she has failed in this position. After the delay, the match finally kicked off 36 minutes late, with some ticket holders complaining they were not let in. The French Interior Minister acknowledged police had been caught off guard by about 300 to 400 local youths who turned up to cause trouble, but said France had only had 3 months to prepare after the game was moved from Russia. Many French officials have said Liverpool and their supporters bear responsibility for what occurred and contrasted it with Real Madrid and the way they were, according to these officials, better organized. However, those on the ground, reporters, journalists, and even local media in the country aren't having it. French media and commentators have branded the scenes a national embarrassment, with France due to host the 2023 Rugby World Cup and the 2024 Olympic Games. Oudéa-Castéra said she remained confident in France's ability to stage major events, noting that the Stade de France had successfully hosted countless full-capacity football and rugby internationals, athletics competitions, and rock concerts since its opening in 1998 without serious incident. Longtime journalist Rob Harris wrote this for the Associated Press. Tear gas fired indiscriminately around children and the elderly. Pepper spray unleashed at close range on frustrated fans. Ticket holders blamed for delaying kickoff when they'd spent hours trying to enter the stadium in bottlenecks and tight spaces. Even as the final started, riot police were firing rounds of tear gas immediately outside the stadium doors into wide open spaces to disperse any lingering people around Gate U. A Merseyside police spokesperson said on Twitter, "Merpol was deployed to this evening's match. Can only describe it as the worst European match I've ever worked or experienced. I thought the behavior of the fans at the turnstiles was exemplary in shocking circumstances. You were not late 100%. The closing of gates sparked concerns among hundreds of fans outside the Liverpool section, but little obvious aggression from them. Hostility by police appeared to inflame frustrations. Problems had been encountered even before getting to the final turnstiles, with entry points into the wider perimeter blocked off, forcing fans through narrow passages that caused bottlenecks." One thing that I've seen kind of go under the radar, and those within the ranks have said this. The chief of Paris police said in a report there had been significant shortcomings in the way the organizers managed the Liverpool supporters. He also blamed the problems, partly on a strike, on one of the two urban rail lines that run from Paris to the stadium, and conceded there had been too few police at the stadium, suggesting 18 units would have been preferable to the 10 on duty.